Well, it is a very good sign because it isn't anything like what they say it is. If you look around you, you're not seeing people dropping dead all over the streets. I mean, it's really hyped up beyond recognition. It really is. It's not anywhere near as bad as what they're saying, and it won't get as bad as what they're saying until people start taking the vaccinations and it finds the right body to incubate itself in until we end up with some kind of superbug. I mean, this is so obviously how they're doing it, and it's so obviously a recombinant man-made virus. I really think a lot of people are waking up about it as well. I mean, a lot of people here are as well, because we're getting pamphlets out. There's a lot of people working on a grassroots level to get this information out to everybody, and I think a lot of people are hearing the information, and that's a very good thing.
Yeah, well, I drive a truck, and sometimes we have long, heated discussions on the radio about stuff like this. And today we were getting everybody all riled up because there's a lot of drivers that don't believe this stuff, and they refuse to believe it, and they refuse to believe the chemtrails to see right in front of their face when they're driving down the road. But I've been finding a lot more truck drivers have been waking up, and I'm not sure if it's because of Obama or if it's just, a progression of time.
I think a lot of it, I really believe, I talk about energy a lot and charging the field and all this sort of stuff, and I know it probably sounds pretty esoteric to most people, but it's truly a major factor, and I think that more and more people wake up and more start putting themselves in a state of love. They charge the field, and that's the reality that people get then to draw into themselves, and that helps them wake up. I really believe that is how it works, that we're changing the energy field around us, and it's not just from people speaking out or handing out flyers. It's because the actual energy field is changing. That's why it's so important for people to wake themselves up and to remain in that state themselves and understand the language of the heart and understand they're charging the field all the time. I really believe that's got part of it. I really do.
Hey, anyway, I'm gonna hang up now, but I just want to let you know I love your show, and glad you're back live again.
Well, thanks very much for calling. I'll speak to you next time.
Okay, take it easy, Max.
Yeah, folks, people really are beginning to wake up around the place, and like I said, I don't think it's just because of my shows or other people's shows or whatever. I mean, everything helps, of course, but I really believe the energy field is changing. I believe that those that are in control, that those we would call the Illuminati, they know all about this energy field. And as I said before, you've only got to be 51% positive to affect positive change and positive energy, whereas you've got to be 95% negative to really attract the negative polarized energy. And it's hard for a lot of people to become 95% polarized negative, because as more stuff's going on around us, and as the times are getting harder and harder, and the financial systems are crashing, and all the problems that we're facing are escalating, I think that people are feeling their connection to each other a little more all the time. I think every time this happens, you'll find that those neighbours that you didn't get along with, suddenly when you see them struggling, your heart goes out to them. You don't relish in the fact that they're struggling. You actually want to help these people because you start to realise that you could be in that position. This is you. This is simply you having that struggle. We are each other. There truly is only one. I think that a lot of people are waking up to this. And that's truly the way it works, folks. It truly is the way it works, The universe and this entire reality is simply consciousness. And in a physical sense, it's just energy. And I've said that to you so many times before. If you wish to understand the universe, you must think of it and all of its components in terms of the vibration and frequency of energy, because that's all there is. Ultimately, it's just pure energy. And all matter that exists is made totally of this energy. And that includes us. And even mainstream science is demonstrating this. As I said before, consciousness is non-local to the body. They've proven this. They've proven that if you take a cell from my body, it's identical to a cell from your body. The only thing that's different is the membrane of the cell, the outer coating of the cell. And that outer coating is tuned to a different frequency, is all that's going on here. That frequency is what it downloads from the field around it, and that is my consciousness. That's what makes me me. That's why if you put one of my kidneys in your body, you might start having my memories. It's not because the kidney has any memory. It's because the membranes, the cell walls of that kidney are tuned to my memory frequency in the field. So it starts downloading those memories into your body, and you start experiencing those memories and those emotions. That's how it works. Consciousness exists all around us. There is only one consciousness. We are simply open and tuned into one particular frequency each. When we can realize that, and we can start to view each other, and view ourselves as everybody else, then the boundaries break down, the limitations break down, the fear dissipates. That's how we have to do it, folks. It's easy to do. It really is easy to do. Life isn't about the collection of paper. It isn't about the collection of trinkets and baubles at the expense of everybody else. It's about understanding the connection that we have to each other. You need to open your mind to the true realities of this universe and your connection to it. And don't allow your belief system to cause you to remain confined within the restraints of doctrines and the restraints of what our societies have set up for us. It's an amazing thing, folks. It is an amazing thing when you break down these barriers and you realise that you are everyone and everything else, and everyone and everything around you. It's you. It's just incredible, and that's how you get rid of the fear, and that's how you learn to stand up against these people and what's going on. You're not going to do it with guns, folks. I see so many people out there. I've been reading the reports, and the gun sales and the bullet sales in America are skyrocketing. I mean, it's like everyone's really buying up with the guns. Everyone's getting scared of what's coming, and they're arming themselves to the teeth, thinking this is, what I'm going to have to do. That I'm going to have to make a stand. But folks, they're not going to do it in open warfare. They're going to do it with things like this swine flu. If they bring in mandatory vaccinations and you decide that you don't want to have one, well, they can declare you a felon. They can take all your property. They can confiscate your guns. They can take you off to a FEMA camp. This is not good. So what you have to do is not allow it to get to that state. What you have to do is you have to talk to your senators and say, look, you've got to squash this bill. The bill's like HR 2749, you've got to squash this legislation. And we're not going to just vote you out at the next election if you don't squash this legislation. We're going to petition to have you sacked straight away if you don't squash this legislation. These guys really fear losing their jobs and their prestige and their money, folks. I mean, if you tell a politician you're going to kick him out of office, they sort of get a little bit worried about that. So you've got to approach it on that level. Let them know that the entire constituency is not going to put up with this legislation being passed. You're not going to interfere with the most basic human rights we have, which is the right to grow food and to have clean air and clean water and be able to have a healthy organic food. Grow our food any way we see fit and use seeds that we can collect and gather ourselves. We don't need all of this GM stuff. We don't need their control over food. We don't need their control over water. We don't need any of that stuff. The governments are supposed to be the elected servants of the people that act in the best interests of the people. And they get away with what they're doing because the people let them. It's all about free will. It's all about freedom of choice. We simply allow these people to do what they do because we don't do anything about it. We don't stand up and say anything. We know the voting system's completely corrupt. We know that all of these people are puppets, and yet we still participate in the system. It makes no sense at all. Non-compliance, folks, non-compliance to the system. Don't forget also, I'll mention to you again, the Global Non-Compliance Day on August 25th, That will be a day, 24 hours without any shopping, no one spending any money. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully we'll get it bigger and bigger every month, and hopefully we'll get it up to a 3-day event or a weekly event where we can completely disengage ourselves from this system, just as a token effort, just to show these people that we can do this, that we can combine and unite and actually do something positive. Spend the day getting to know each other. Spend the day getting to know your neighbours. That would be a good way to spend Non-Compliance Day. Don't comply with the fear. Don't comply with the hatred. Don't comply with the monetary system, most certainly. Certainly don't do that. So don't forget to participate in that. I will let you know how this legal action goes with these charges of Jane Burgermeisters as well. The police kind of looked at me like I had two heads when I handed them the document, but well, I expected them to do that. But we'll just see how we go. We'll just see how we go with that.